We're ready to get started and ready to go. Mafe, take it away.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
We allowed you to stay in your pajamas.
That's good. I like that.
But it doesn't allow us to see your skin type. So it does have a few issues
true.
there.
Yeah, very
true.
You can always email us your skin type.
Okay. I'm not sure I know what it is. I feel like it's changed over the years.
They always are changing. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Are you from South Florida?
No, I'm originally from Ohio, but I've lived down here since '97.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're joining us tonight. We have some good questions to go through, and I didn't remember seeing your specific question.
I think my question was somewhere along the lines of like, what would be a good weekly like skincare routine, you know?
Okay.
Because I'm finding that I definitely need to exfoliate at least once a week. But I just love to know like what are like the definitely the things I should be doing at least once a week, you know?
If you took your fingers like right now today and you moved your fingers from the side of your face to the middle, where would you feel like it was oily?
To the middle.
To the middle right here?
Yep.
Does that feel like it's that way all day long, or do you all of a sudden feel like you get oily like early morning?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it's like that all day.
So you have what's considered to be normal combination skin and not so like considered to be oily. What ends up happening is you're constantly balancing so that you're not using something that's too oil stripping, because if you have something that's too oil stripping, like if you use glycolic every day and every day it was glycolic, then what's going to happen is you're going to have no oil on the skin, and the skin needs an acid mantle. So it needs that oil in order to be able to do everything it needs to do. It's a simple explanation. So you want to make sure that you have enough oil on the skin in order for the skin to be in healthy shape. So you're trying to see what cleanser is like. You want to make sure, like if you're going to use a mild cleanser, that you might want to use an exfoliating cleanser the next day. So it might be one day it's a green tea, the next day is glycolic. As you hit 30 or over, you want to be exfoliating at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I'm not a really huge big fan of being the scrub routine, because the scrubs, despite what people say, you get in there and you start scrubbing and you have all these tools and everything like that. When you really get into it, it ends up being, sometimes you can tear the skin. That's kind of something that we want to, like look out for and make sure you're not being too rough on the skin.
Right. Okay.
We actually have a question from Alex. Do you have a favorite brand for this type of skin for exfoliating?
My favorite brand for exfoliating for a scrub is probably, we have one from Reina that is a pumice, and we have another one that is from Dr. Grandau, which is a German brand, that is an enzyme scrub, and it's very, very fine. So you can put it on the face, you leave it on, the enzymes help eat the dead skin, and then you can scrub it off. So it ends up being a combination scrub enzyme, so it's exfoliating doubly. So that's my favorite one, Alexandra.
Before we answer the skin type question that we just received, how about we kick it off with the basics about cleansers? So the first question that we have is, when should I use a cleanser?
Okay. So when should you use a cleanser? And a lot of times people think, oh, I should use it in the morning, or I should use it at night. and that should be it. And basically, we have people that are like constantly doing sports, constantly active, constantly doing all kinds of activities. And when you need to, if you're going to play tennis, you're going to play golf, you need to cleanse your face afterwards. So that needs to be something that you need to do on a regular basis, but it depends on the type of cleanser.
Do you guys have any other questions about this?
Like when to cleanse? Sometimes if you've cleansed at night and you sleep on a clean pillowcase, and unless you've got like acne going on, waking up in the morning and re-cleaning your face, it's not absolutely necessary. But you do want to not ever over dry the skin by cleansing too much.
And should I use a different cleanser in the morning than nighttime?
I personally think that your cleanser in the morning should be one that is not oil stripping, because unless you are in a hot, humid environment, it should be one that you're not taking off makeup, you're not doing anything, you just want the skin to feel nice and refreshed. So using something that is like a light foamy cleanser or a creamy cleanser is better in the morning. At night, we're going to talk about double cleansing, but at night, you're going to want to at least cleanse with something that's going to take off makeup, but also that's going to help take off the toxins and the pollutants and the chemicals that you come in contact with every day. How you should take off your makeup. At night, I'm a huge fan. When we do facials, we always practice double cleansing. And double cleansing is really a way for us to, number one, see how this, when as an esthetician, you're watching to see how the skin is going to react to the cleanser that you've used. So if you're applying a cleanser that's going to take off the makeup first, it's going to have more surfactant in it. So that means it's going to be more oil stripping and be able to remove the makeup. So when you have that type of cleanser, it's also going to change the pH of the skin. So you want to go back with a second cleanser that's going to be a little creamier, or in the case of somebody has super dry skin, it's going to be oil cleanser. But that cleanser is going to help balance the pH, because you want to make sure that when you are done cleansing, that the skin is not over dry. And that happens a lot if you have too much oil. You're using a charcoal cleanser. It's way too drying for doing it as a double cleanser. Cleansing with makeup, honestly, makeup really should be, especially the eye makeup. We are huge fans of not using a chemical eye makeup remover, simply because the chemical eye makeup remover, you're using chemicals and preservatives on your skin. We're a huge fan of using one for sensitive skin, and that really oil can really help remove that very easily. So you don't really have to worry, but using a makeup remover first, and then being able to use the cleanser after that. And that should be enough at night, unless you really get into double cleansing.
Another question. A lot of people were wondering about their own skincare routine and, if it's good. So according to your expertise, what would you say is the best facial cleanser?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, the best facial cleanser is the one that works the best for you. And there's so many brands where often I will just really say that marketing plays a huge recommendation in what people are told to use on their skin. So you may go to see somebody and they may say, this is the best cleanser that you really should use this cleanser. But if you're using that cleanser and you're finding that you still have oil on your skin, or you're finding that your skin is too dry, that means that that cleanser is not the one for you. So finding the right cleanser for you is matching your skin type to the cleanser. Okay, and I'm just going to show you a couple of, this is a brand that we use all the time at the spa. It's not an extremely well-known brand, but their products are great, and you can have great skincare on not a big budget per se. So for example, they have a glycolic, they have a charcoal, they have a raspberry, and they have one of our all-time favorites, which is a green tea. The green tea is for sensitive skins. It's very, very good for all skin types. We recommend it a lot for at night type of cleansing. So that one is good for that. Then you have a charcoal cleanser. This charcoal is going to pull out the toxins. But what ends up happening with the charcoal cleanser is a lot of times it's over drying to people that you think that you have acne and you want the acne to go away, and you over dry the skin because you're pulling out too much. So you have to be careful with the acne. The same with the glycolic and the same with the raspberry. So you have choices of so many cleansers, but it's finding the right one for how your skin feels. The same that can be said of, this is a line from South Africa called Environ. Environ has, they divide their skin cleansers into age groups. So the younger age groups get the younger, we call it just the orange box to keep it simple. And the older ones of us, we use the blue cleanser. They just have two simple cleansers, and both of them have peptides, and they have all kinds of vitamins, and they have other things in them other than simply just being a cleanser. Then there's another brand called Biodroga. Biodroga is from Germany, and they have 3 cleansers, which kind of like makes a little more sense, but they have a milky cleanser. A milky cleanser is for somebody who has combination skin and they don't want to over dry the skin, because that becomes a balancing act with the skin, because even though you have oil in the T-zone, you're dry out here, you don't want to overstrip the skin. So this is a milky cleanser. Milky cleansers are fabulous. They're oftentimes not so great for removing makeup, but they're really good for leaving the skin very soft. Another cleanser is a foamy cleanser. Now, a foamy cleanser would be more like a mousse. It's going to leave the skin feeling very, very soft, but it has more surfactants in it. So it's going to help you remove more makeup and more, like if you've gone out and played golf or you've been active hiking, it's going to help you remove more of that type of dirt. And then you have a cleansing oil, which the oils have become super popular in the last, probably the last 3 or 4 years. And prior to that, we were always told that oil was bad and never put oil on your skin. Little known fact, we use oil all the time in facials because jojoba oil is very, very good for helping us to extract blackheads. But oil also is very good for helping dehydrated skin. And you see that a lot because we don't eat a lot of omega-3s, omega-6s. So that's not a big part of our diets. So oftentimes our skin, it really, really needs a lot of oil added to it. So depending on what your skin type is, these are the kind of differences between the cleansers, and trying to find out which cleanser is right. And you'll know by how your skin looks after you've cleansed. It's if it's glowing and it doesn't feel super dry, then you know it's the right cleanser. Does that answer? A lot of cleansing.
I think you kind of answered Doritsa's question, but kind of going back to Alex's question, since we're talking about skin types and the different types of cleansers, how would someone know, like if they're home right now, how would they know what their skin type is?
So when I'm speaking with somebody and knowing about their skin type is if you wake up in the morning and you cleanse your skin first thing in the morning, and by 10 o'clock in the morning, you touch your face and you feel like there's oil out here, you have oily skin. If you take your fingers and you go right about here, you're going to have normal combination skin. If you bring your fingers all the way to your nose and you get to your nose and that's where you're actually feeling oil, you're going to have dry skin. So the other way you can tell, not only by how the oil lays on your skin, is by your pore size. So if you have big pores out here, then you have oilier skin because you have very active oil out here, versus if you get closer to your nose and you don't, some people have no pores and they have porcelain skin. I'm not one of those people, but those people don't have, you don't see their pores. And that's something that it's part of the oil laying on the skin, and it's all hereditary too.
Another question, what tools should people use to cleanse their skin? Because, you could use your hands and then you have all these tools like Foreo. Are they worth the investment? Like, is that how you should cleanse your skin?
There was a Clarisonic too. I mean, that was another big one. It used to be too. I personally am not a huge fan of the tools. And for one major reason is bacteria and germs. So I think what ends up happening is that we find that our clients and guests are using the tools, and then what happens is they hold bacteria, and that bacteria transfers from one place to another. So if you have a breakout or a whitehead or something, and you actually hit it with the tool, it's transferring it to another area. So I'm not a huge fan of the tools. And as far as hands are okay, but I actually prefer super soft, like washcloths. And I will tell, like, especially if we have somebody who has acne, or just go get yourself like a dozen like washcloths, keep them, use one a night, and just plan on washing a lot of washcloths, because it really makes a difference in keeping your skin healthy and making sure you're not like transferring bacteria from one place to another.
What should I look for in the ingredients for a combination skin cleanser?
A combination skin cleanser is going to be something like a foamy cleanser, or it's also going to be something that is going to have a more like suds in it, but it has a cream to it. For example, a green tea cleanser from Skin Script can be a great cleanser for normal oily combination skin, because it's got just enough of the cleanser, the surfactant part, to strip, but it also has green tea and all these other good ingredients that help to balance the pH of the skin. And you're looking for something that is balancing everything. So, yes, you're going to have an oil combination. You're going to get oil usually by noon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Might be late for you, but you're always going to have some oil because you have that combination skin.
Another question. I've had rosacea all my life. I started using Mario Badescu green tea spray, And I no longer get redness, but now I get dryness and flaking where my eyelids meet my eyelashes. What do you recommend?
Oh my goodness. So obviously you're having some kind of chemical reaction to the green tea spray. So my recommendation would be to like stop using that and try to move to something that is not quite apparently having having an allergy, having rosacea, having any of these things, your skin goes through phases where all of a sudden everything's fine. And then it could be 6 months later and your skin goes, nope, I don't like this anymore. And it's very painful to those of us who have those problems, but that's what happens is because the skin gets used to something and then it could be one ingredient, but the manufacturer could have changed one ingredient. They could have gotten an ingredient and manufactured it with a different chemical in it. And all of a sudden you're having a reaction to that chemical. But if you're having dryness and flaking, you need to find something different. Mild cleansers are something that is creamy, is usually a big recommendation for people that have rosacea. You're looking for something that has aloe in it so that you are helping to heal the skin at the same time that you're cleansing, because you're trying to keep it calm and not so active.
Do you recommend using the cleanser you use on your face, on your neck as well?
And your décolleté? That is a fabulous question. And honestly, your face is usually going to hold more oil, whereas your décolleté and your body area is going to be drier because you don't have oil on your décolleté and you don't really have oil glands on your neck area. So my recommendation, if it's in your ability to have two cleansers, is that you're using your one that is more pH balancing. Let's say you're using something that's a foamy cleanser on your face and you're using something that's creamy or oilier on your neck and décolleté as your double cleansing. You're making sure that whatever you're using on the neck and the décolleté, it helps to provide oils and helps to balance on the skin.
I think you kind of went through this, but do you recommend using a cleanser with a scrub?
The cleansers that contain a scrub are really fabulous for especially us busy people. It's a great double use of, and if you're going to do that, maybe you do it once. If you have super dry skin or rosacea, you definitely still need to always exfoliate, but you may want to do it twice a week instead of using that exfoliant on a daily basis. If you're going to do the scrub, I like to see you do the scrub as almost like a mask. And so you're using the cleanser separately, but you're using your exfoliant like a mask, and then you put it on. You might go brush your teeth, then you might jump in the shower and you're going to just use it and scrub and take off. You're getting some steam into your exfoliant at the same time as you're removing it.
Nancy, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So I have been wanting to set up an appointment with you for a facial, but I look at your spa menu and I have no idea where to begin because I have no idea. Like, it's just so overwhelming.
So what we do is we have a consultation with every facial. So we book the time for the facial, and the very first facial consultation time, it's always an hour and 15 to an hour and a half, because we need the 15 to 30 minutes to have the conversation to discuss where you want to go with your skin, what what you want to see. What you see and what we see are oftentimes like two different things, because we'll have people that, and you don't know what facial you want, but you might, so we just book the time. So we usually have our front team, our spa concierges book always the consultation, but also a couture spa facial, which is our basic facial. And then we have a conversation of, are you having pigmentation? Do you want more hydration? Whatever that is. But what we're also trying to do is, if I ever have a choice between a facial and home care, I'm always going to just opt out that you have the very best home care ever, simply because you're doing it every day versus if you come in for a facial, you might be coming, we like to see you every month, but in the space of a year, it might be only 8 times. So it might not be every month, but we're always working with you to actually get the optimum for your skin. So what you tell us is super important in being able to provide the right service.
I had a quick question in regards to consultations. If someone were to be out of state and they would like to get in touch with, for example, knowing which product works best for their skin, do you as well do virtual consultations out of state as well for individuals?
Yes, absolutely. We'll do it out of state, out of country. So wherever they are, we are glad to. We just set up a Zoom meeting with them, and we'll be happy to help them.
Do you recommend an SPF for the face during the day?
Absolutely. And even if you are in New York City or Boston or anywhere, even if you think it's cloudy, wearing an SPF every day is super important. We're fortunate to have some fabulous sunscreens now that are either mineral powders and they're in the powder itself, so it could be a foundation, or the sunscreen itself is so light and nice that it goes on right underneath makeup and wears beautifully. So there's nice formulations now versus the old-fashioned ones that weren't so great.
We actually carry one of my favorite brands at the spa called Supergoop.
Yep.
I wear it every single day. I love it. I wear the glow screen, so it gives me a little dewiness.
I opt between the unseen and the glow screen. Those are my two, they're awesome.
Yeah, it's a great sunscreen. Bella Reina, first ever Bella Reina Beauty Chat and Learn. So welcome. I'm Mafe, and this is Nancy. And so just to give a little background info as to why we created this event. So Nancy and I actually, we were talking about this, and right now there's just so much information out there. You go on Instagram, you go on YouTube, and everyone's just giving skincare advice. And, let's be honest, not everyone out there is an expert. So we wanted to create a platform where we could have you guys ask us skincare related questions and get advice from Bella Reina spa owner, esthetician, and New York Times skincare coach, none other than Miss Nancy Reagan. So I know that today our topic is all about cleansers, but if you guys have any other skincare related question, feel free to ask it, and you can ask any question throughout the event. You don't have to wait until the end. You guys can just, type it into the chat or into the Q&A box, and I'll ask Nancy for you. So yeah, we would just want this to be as educational as possible, and we just want to try and answer all your skincare questions in the time that we have today. And then also, if you guys want to send us your skin type through email, we do have a little kit for you that we will be sending you, mailing it out to you. So yeah, without further ado.
Oh,
We're so excited
yeah.
because this is our very first beauty chat and learn. And we kind of started this because we were like, and we're going to tell you more, but we were starting it because we were like really watching what other people were, information they were speaking about. And so the more information they were talking, we're like, oh my gosh, we need to like really educate people on the right way. So that's why we're starting this series of Beauty Chat and Learn. So we can have these conversations and we can educate you. And honestly, if you like learn something and it helps you really have healthy skin, that's what our goal is.
That's awesome. It's definitely necessary. I feel like taking care of your skin is so easy when you're younger, but then when you hit your 40s, you're like, oh my God, this like, like my skin started getting dry and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I just don't feel like it looks as good as it should.
It can be a combination. There's so much. Maybe another time we'll do one on gut health and how gut health affects the skin, because it actually ends up being from the inside out because the skin's the largest organ. So we can also have that as part of a discussion on having skin that glows no matter what your age. So.
Yeah, I mean, Nancy and I have both talked a lot about gut health, and I feel like that's kind of the philosophy at Bella Reina Spa is just, taking care of your skin in a more, like whole package, not just what you put on it, but like what you're putting in your body, the ingredients in your skincare. It's a lot of stuff that
for sure
affects it,
Also thyroid. I feel like I've had some issues with my thyroid recently, and as I've started to heal my thyroid, I've noticed my hair is getting better.
That's me too.
Really?
Yeah, I had a whole history of the thyroid and it goes the whole body. So it's the female organs, it's everything. It all goes together.
Yeah.
And, we like between Mafe and myself, we've probably had every like, So we're pretty like versed on the whole skin thing. So are you ready I'm going to mute you, Rebecca, until the end, and then we'll go through but here's the whole thing is we want to hear your questions. So we're going to just mute everybody now, but if you have a question, put it in the Q&A because we're going to answer them immediately. If anybody has topics that they're interested in for the next Beauty Chat and Learn, if you'll let us know, we would love to be able to provide you with an ongoing conversation so that we can keep you with the best skin ever and healthy skin. Do we do skin consultations in person at Bella Reina? Yes, we do. And we also do them online. So if you would ever like to have a personal one-on-one online, hopefully my Zoom expertise will allow me to see your face. But that is, we definitely can do it online. Don't forget, everybody, please, we want to get your address so that we can send you out a wonderful travel kit. Tell us your skin type or what you think is your skin type. And if you have questions on what to use and how to use, we want to send you samples for joining us this evening. Just email us directly at info@bellareina.spa.com. Send us your name, your skin type, and your address, and we'll get those out so that we can hopefully assist you in getting the right cleanser for your skin. Thanks so much for joining us.